How's it, Jordan here. In this episode, I'll be making a simple character controller. So as you see, I just set up a very basic scene. I'm using a few packages, free packages by the way. I'm using 2D Forest Tile Sets Pack Toon Style, 2D Village Pack Free, and finally Tasty Characters Castle Pack. Okay, so I just dragged in our character 15 from the Tasty Characters. You've got assets, prefabs in here. It's this one. Okay, I just dragged and made a little scene here from the assets. Okay, as you see, we have a few houses here, and it's all very pretty. So if we press play now, our player will just drop down. So the only thing I've changed to the character is I've added a rigid body 2D and a box collider. And on the rigid body, by the way, I went freeze rotation on the Z axis, otherwise it might roll over when we actually move the character. So let's just quickly write a script. Okay, so what I'm going to do is right click, create C# script, and I'm going to go player, play controller. Okay. There we go. And let's just open it quick. Okay, so I'm going to start. Let's just delete everything. I'm going to make a few variables. I'm going to make a public float. It's going to be speed. Let's make it equal to 5. Okay, another float. It's going to be jump force equal to 5 also. And let's go public bool, and basically what this will check is whether it's grounded or not, so we can check where to jump. Okay, we're going to call this is grounded. Okay, and let's just set the on start to false. Okay, false. There we go. We need to make a few more variables. It's going to be a public rigid body 2D. Okay, and let's call this rigid body 2D. And there we go. Okay, so let's make a method quick. There's going to be fixed update. Okay, we don't need to make it private because it's private automatically. In the fixed update, I'm going to check what keys you press. So if you click left arrow or right arrow or space, stuff like that. So if input dot get key, so I'm not using get key down because then it only move it once. Get key is if you hold it down basically. Okay, get key. And of course we could go key code, but then every time we want to change it, we'd have to change it in the code. It's hard coded. So let's add a few public key codes. Okay, let's make the first key code left key. Okay, right key, and finally jump key. Okay, in here all we have to do is write, let's do left key. Okay, and there we go. In here I'm going to go transform dot position, okay, plus equals by vector 3 dot left. Okay, so the interesting thing about vector 3 dot left is the same as going vector 3 and in there having 0, 1, 0, stuff like that. That would be of course up, but you can probably get the gist. But there's a shorthand of that. Then we can just times this by time dot delta time, and currently it's just going to move 1 every time this runs. So we need to times this by our speed we set it. We don't actually need these brackets unless we're doing something else, so we can just keep it kind of short. Okay, before we add any more, let's just save this quick. Let's go Unity now. Okay, just wait for it to compile quick. Go character. Let's of course attach it. So as you see, we have a lot of them, all these presets. Let's just change the left key, and as you see, we get all the different types of keys and joysticks, and you can choose whatever you want. I'm going to choose left arrow, right arrow for this, and then jump, which will be space. And of course, we need to give it our rigid body. Okay, if we press play now, nothing should happen. However, if we click leftly, we should be able to move. Of course, no other controls are we able to use. Okay, let's just press pause quick and let's edit it again. Okay, so we need different controls. So if we just copy our left key, right, make this right key, and instead of making it left, of course there are a few ways of doing right. We can do it vector3.right. We can do minus vector3.left. I'm just going to keep it simple and go right. Okay. So now if we just go to Unity quick, if we press play now, there we go. Now we have controls, but we want to jump. So before we start, I'm just going to, if we see let's just open our blocks and our platforms. If we select them all and go tag and add tag, I made my own custom tag. I have my own custom tag. I called it ground and I attached it to every single one of these platforms. That's just a check, so we can check what we actually on. Okay. So also, we must also make this else if. So if this is not true, then it's obviously doing right key. And I'm going to have another else if. Okay. And else if dot get key is going to be jump key. Okay. And there we go. And in here, we're going to have two lines in here, so we need to have these brackets. Okay. And there we go. If we press play now, what should happen is we should be able to jump. However, there's going to be a small problem here. Yep, we can jump infinitely, and we have no stopping. So we can just jump in the air. So we need to check whether we actually on a platform. To do that, we need to have another method. This is going to be called on collision enter. And watch out, make sure you're actually using the 2D version if you are making a 2D game. Okay. And if you're writing this normally, by the way, you need to do on collision 2D, not collided or something like that, because then it'll give you errors. Because on trigger enter 2D is a little different. If I just show you, go there. It's collider. This is collision. So watch out for that small difference. Okay, we're doing it on collision. Okay, and usually you can't do just like on trigger, you can do other dot tag. We have to do this a bit differently to get the tag. Other, by the way, is a collider basically. So we can just go other dot game object, get the game object from that collider, and then from the game object we get the tag, and we check whether that is ground. Okay, make sure to make it identical because it really matters here about casing and stuff like that. And then we can just go is grounded is equal to true. Okay, so now what should happen is if we just go here and if we just press play now, okay, that's a little crazy. Let's just go back to our character. Okay, these are both 5. Good. Okay, I just figured out what was wrong. I forgot to add in our if statement. We need to go is grounded is equal to true. Okay, now if we go back to Unity, go to our character. Okay, so now what should happen is, okay, sorry, I forgot to just change this thing. Just make the jump force 5 again. And now, if we press play, we can jump. And we can just jump around very easily. Okay, this is the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye!